What's up everyone, CBK here, your #1 Marvel Spider-Man fan, back with another exciting Marvel Spider-Man 2 video, and today I wanted to talk about DLC for Marvel Spider-Man 2. Specifically, I'd love to talk about what kind of storylines would work the best, and when we could expect a DLC for the game. Now, there is no actual confirmation from Insomniac Games that we're going to be getting a DLC for this game, but I personally believe that we will get one eventually. If you just look at some of the storylines and plot points that were set up in side missions for the base game, they really seem to hint at a potential expanding of those storylines, and I feel like a DLC would work best for those. As for when we could expect a DLC to come, well, that's a whole nother question. The longer we go without our huge update giving us New Game Plus, Mission Replay, and a whole bunch of other features, the more people are starting to speculate that this update could be much larger than we anticipated and that Insomniac is leading on. Some people are starting to speculate that this update could bring us a DLC. While I think that would be a really nice surprise, I don't see that happening quite yet. I wouldn't mind waiting until the end of the year to get a DLC just to space out the content and kind of keep us busy until the next game from Insomniac, but there really is no telling when that DLC announcement will come. There are rumors right now that a PlayStation State of Play could be coming within the next week or two, and that would be a pretty cool time to announce a DLC if they had one ready to go, or just even announce the update that we're waiting for, but for now all we can do is speculate. So let's get into what DLC storylines would work the best. In my opinion, there were two storylines that were started in the base game of Marvel Spider-Man 2 that seemed to perfectly set up a DLC storyline. The first one being the Chameleon. Chameleon would make a great DLC villain. He's already a villain that's been established within this universe and has a history with Peter Parker, and I feel like it would be a really great chance to wrap up that Kraven storyline by taking out his half-brother Dimitri, aka the Chameleon. When I went to the premiere event for Marvel Spider-Man 2 in LA, there was some art that was on the wall that showed off the family tree of Kraven and would look like Dimitri's name crossed out in that family tree, so there's certainly more to that story to come, especially with the teases that we got within the base game of Marvel Spider-Man 2. If we do get a DLC, we pretty much know that this DLC is going to be centered around Miles Morales as Peter Parker is taking a little break, and a cool plot point that would work for this DLC is if the Chameleon was going around disguising himself as Peter Spider-Man and wreaking havoc in New York City. This obviously would cause some confusion from Miles Morales' side because as far as he knows, Peter is taking a break and shouldn't be out in New York City causing any issues. I think that would be a really cool side plot to have within that DLC. Chameleon is a really cool character, but I'm not really sure if he should be the big villain of a DLC, which is why I believe the second option for a DLC story should be centered around Carnage. This doesn't mean that it should be Chameleon or Carnage. I still think that there is room for Chameleon regardless of if Carnage is going to be the big bad of the DLC or not. Carnage would absolutely be a no-brainer. The side missions used to set up Carnage were some of the best ones within Marvel Spider-Man 2, and that was no accident. They were certainly setting up a Carnage DLC in my opinion. Again, this is speculation, but I feel like Insomniac would like to have the symbiotic storylines wrapped up before Spider-Man 3. So if they were to give us that Carnage DLC in between Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3, that just makes a lot of sense. That is, unless they plan to do a standalone Venom game in the future. Either way though, I do think that Insomniac teased these two villains to set up a future DLC with them. I'm going to be happy with whatever we get though for a DLC, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't sad that we're not going to get that Morbius DLC that I've been dying for and asking for years. That's definitely been one of the ones that have been on the top of my wish list. But nonetheless, that is the video that I have for you guys today. Be sure to drop your predictions for what DLC could be released and when you expect that big update to come. Thank you guys as always for watching, and I will catch you on the next video.